Okay, Vern back with you, Wits and Will. We're going to talk today about cotton. This is your board as far as the cotton. Just going to give you a little 5 basic things on the cotton stuff right there. One of the big things about cotton that is a negative is that it does shrink and it does wear out faster than synthetic fibers. Synthetic fibers will last a lot longer, say your polypropylene, your capylene, that kind of stuff. The plus about it is it is more accessible, so you can buy it pretty much anywhere from a thrift store all the way up to a bigger box store and or these more exotic kind of stores from there. It is cheaper to buy than it is to buy synthetic fibers, although they are kind of evening out depending on where you buy your synthetic fibers at and how hardcore you buy them. It doesn't smell as badly as synthetic fibers do. Synthetic fibers have a tendency to hold smells and a lot of that kind of stuff. So even with athletic clothes, people wash them, they can tell you that they still smell as far as holding the stink, even if you've been on long hikes or day hikes or overnights or that kind of stuff. It does freeze, so it'll freeze solid. It absorbs a bunch of its own weight, so it absorbs anywhere from like 25 to 30 times its weight in moisture. So that does help with the cooling and the retention of the cooling when the wind is blowing, keeping you cool, keeping your body temperature low, keeping that core temperature down so you're not hypothermic instead of hyperthermic, or hyperthermic instead of hypothermic. So that does help a lot with that. It will draw heat away from you, so if it does get wet during the day on your hikes and then you have to accidentally spend the night or you get stuck out there, it's going to be a problem because it's going to draw that heat away from you and it's going to be a pain in the butt. It's really going to make you cold really quick. Where I was in the Sierras, cotton kills, that's a big thing, so nobody ever wore cotton. It will keep you cooler, which is nicer with those windy days like I was talking about. But then the problem at night that you get with the drawing the heat away and everything else is unless you have something else like extra clothing to change into, it will take forever to dry and it will freeze. So you have to be careful about that kind of stuff. I mean, we used to leave socks out in the snow just to see them freeze, and I've done it with my kids before too. So it is hard to dry unless you're in a really hot area. So if you're in a desert area and places like that, I probably wouldn't think about it as much, too much more. Versus an area like the mountain areas, the Sierras. If you're on 17 higher up towards the north and that kind of thing, you're going to run into problems with it. So definitely look into more synthetic fibers versus or wool versus cotton. Okay, we're going to go over some synthetic stuff. We're going to go over wool and stuff like that in little tutorials that I'm going to post here and there. Okay, remember, live and survive by your wits and will.